All right, everybody, welcome back to the farmstead. Rainy day, so I'm trying to keep busy here, but my thought was to make some more timbers for the roof trusses out of some of the wood. This is a cherry tree, really nice looking wood, I think. So I've made a few of these videos about the chainsaw and milling and things like that. So if you want to check out like the process and how to do that, I have at least 4 different videos about it the other times that I've done it. But I'll just show you this one real quick because it's the cherry tree. I really like the way this cherry looks. I mean, that's nice, right? So this tree normally would have just been firewood. I dug in a little right here, but you know, this is stuff I can live with. If you have to keep in mind, if you're attempting to do this, that this is all going to be a rough cut. All of it's going to be rough. You're using a chainsaw, right? But if you wanted it cleaner, like what I intend to do in the future is get an actual portable mill, a chain, you know, for wood. You know, you can get some pretty nice ones for $2,000 to $5,000. So I've been looking at those for years to get them, but up until we actually get one, I'm going to continue to do some stuff like this. This is just going to be a real quick rundown. Now, if you guys or gals want to see some of the older videos, just look Husqvarna 455 Rancher and a Timber Tough jig. These are cheap. One thing I'll say real quick is, if you try to do this, be ready to use probably 2 tanks of gas, 1.5, 2 tanks of gas. The chain should be new. They make ripper chains just for this. The displacement's a lot faster, but I've heard people say that they can also kick back a lot easier. So 6 or half dozen, whatever you want to deal with it. This is not a ripper. I just thought I would try it. So it turns out pretty good, but all you basically have to do is get a 2x4 or a 2x6, or whatever size you're trying to do, and screw it to the wood flat. You drop the blade and run it one way, and then depending on the width that you're trying to get here, that's where you would set this again. So if you use a 2x4, you'll get 4 inches. These are 3.5, and you get roughly a 1/2 inch on each side from where the blade drops. We're just going to stick with that because it's a lot easier than like bouncing it around. So then once you mill both sides of it, you can drop it on its side and do that again to whatever width you're trying to get. Or if you want to, you know, leave a live edge exposed, which I think that's what we might do. We might cut one side and then leave like a live edge exposed on the bottom. Not sure yet, one way or the other, you know. But the main thing is that the tree you're probably going to do this from is probably going to be somewhat wet. So what I do is I mill it like this, and then I'll let it sit for a while. Try to keep it underneath a tarp or something like that. So I'll let it sit for a while to kind of dry out, because especially certain kinds of wood, it's going to want to bend and bow and crack. So you're going to have to want to keep an eye on it, depending on what you're doing with it. But this is a good way to get it to dry quickly, because you're kind of opening up both sides. The bark on the outside of the tree is what really traps most of the moisture. So from here now, we'll take the rest of these, chop them up into firewood, and then take this and set it to the side and let it sit for a little bit, because we're going to probably use these to build a small, I'm calling it a barn. But you know, it's not, I would love to be able to afford a massive barn. That's just not in the cards, especially this year with, you know, just the way prices are for everything. So we're going to build a barnish, or a mini barn, a barn-dominium. It's just going to be a small place because I want to get sheep and goat. So we're going to make it big enough to house 4 to 6 sheep and goat. Probably put it somewhere back in that area. We're probably going to rent a skid steer and clear a whole lot more of this. So as far as that, stay tuned, because I'm going to be recording that whole process. If I can, I'm going to get my hands on a drone, try to get it up in the air and show you what it looks like before and after. So if you're interested, stay tuned. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If they're in depth enough that I can't explain in a comment, I'll make a video just addressing it. All right, everybody, you guys have a good day.